Technical teaching is not just about what you say. It is also about how easily learners can process it. In this lesson, you'll learn how to slow down, pause with purpose, and create a speaking rhythm that makes complex ideas easier to follow. So far, you've built the foundation: trainer mindset, presence, breathing, and clear speech. Now we move into timing. Your pace, pauses, and rhythm help learners process ideas as you teach, and they prepare us to connect speech more directly to thinking. Speaking rhythm is the pattern learners feel as you teach: how quickly you move, where you pause, what you stress, and how one sentence connects to the next. In technical training, rhythm is not performance, it is support. A steady rhythm helps learners receive information in manageable steps, notice what matters, and stay oriented as ideas build. Two common beginner habits come from the same source: pressure. When nerves rise, many trainers speed up, breathe less, and try to push through the material. Simple technical steps can start to feel complicated. Other trainers respond by shrinking their voice. Uncertainty lowers volume, weakens sentence endings, and makes learners work harder to follow. In both cases, the fix starts with control: breath, pace, and intentional volume. The ideal pace is not simply fast or slow, it is responsive. When learners meet a new term or a complex step, slow down and give them time to process. For examples and stories, use a steady conversational rhythm. When reviewing familiar points, you can move a little faster. What you want to avoid is one flat speed. Pace should signal what matters and where attention is needed. A useful first step is to record a 1 to 2 minute explanation of a technical concept. Then listen as if you were the learner. Did each idea have room to land? Were there clear pauses after key terms? Notice shallow breathing, merged words, or fading volume. Finally, look for patterns: rushed openings, messy transitions, and weak endings. Diagnosis turns pace from a vague feeling into something you can deliberately improve. Many speakers treat silence as a warning sign, so they rush to fill it with like, or extra explanation. A purposeful pause does the opposite. It gives your audience a moment to absorb an important idea, and it gives you time to choose your next words. Pauses also create emphasis. A brief stop before or after a key point can make that point feel more deliberate, confident, and memorable. When you introduce a term like SQL query, AI/ML, or API gateway, give learners a tiny moment to register it. Half a second is often enough. Say the term with slight emphasis, then pause before continuing. For example, an API gateway acts as a single entry point for client requests. That breathing space tells the brain, this is important, and keeps technical language from piling up too quickly. Once you explain a definition, principle, or process, pause briefly so learners can organize it. That pause is not dead air. It is thinking time. Use it before you add an example, start a demo, or move to the next topic. Watch for signals: people finishing notes, looking back up, or sitting silently. Often, a short pause helps more than repeating the same explanation too quickly. After you ask a question, your silence is part of the teaching. Ask clearly, then give people 3 to 5 seconds to think. Resist the urge to rescue the room by answering yourself. If the silence continues, offer a supportive prompt, such as, what might fail first? Or, think about the connection path. Wait time lowers pressure, gives learners room to process, and often turns one response into a richer discussion. A transition pause works like a bridge between learning moments. Before moving from theory into a demo, pause long enough for learners to close one mental folder and open the next. After a technical step, pause again, then signpost the direction. Now let's move to the next step. These small breaks reduce confusion in complex explanations because learners know where they are and where they're going. Chunking is one of the simplest ways to make technical explanations easier to follow. Instead of packing several conditions, steps, and exceptions into one long sentence, separate them into meaningful units. Say one idea, pause, then move to the next. Those pauses give learners time to process what they just heard. The result is cleaner delivery, stronger clarity, and better recall. Good technical explanations have a rhythm learners can trust. First, name the idea. Then explain just enough to make it meaningful. Pause so people can process. Use an example to make the concept concrete. Then pause again or check for understanding. Finally, summarize the takeaway. This pattern keeps complex material from becoming a continuous stream of information, and it helps you sound calm, intentional, and in control. You can build these habits with short, repeatable drills. Take a technical paragraph and mark where you will pause, then read it aloud slowly. Record a 1-minute explanation and listen for rushed sections, missing pauses, and unclear words. Practice waiting 3 full seconds after asking a question. Then rehearse a simple rhythm. Introduce the concept, pause, give an example, pause, and recap. 10 minutes a day is enough. Strong delivery is controlled delivery. Slow down when ideas are complex. Pause when learners need time to think, and chunk long explanations into clear spoken pieces. These habits make technical content easier to follow and easier to remember. Next, we'll focus on mind-to-mouth coordination, turning your thoughts into smooth explanations.